Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another Sundays are for healing here at the Results Kill Excuses channel. My name is Greg. I'm grateful to be here right now with you. I can't thank everyone enough that's been viewing the messages, commenting, engaging, opening up, a lot of vulnerability being shared. I truly believe a lot of people are really ready to do the inner work, the healing, the emotional healing. And so I'm just grateful to be getting on here again for this live stream. Welcome. If you're jumping on right now, gonna do some talking about life, and we'll also do breath work and visualization. I have a really good visualization exercise to share with you today. We'll see how long the stream goes for. I'm going to just kind of be present, and I'm just really grateful for everyone that's been sharing the message, liking the messages, connecting, commenting. All those interactions are really, really powerful. If you haven't done it yet, type in Results Kill Excuses into your app store and download that app. Right? A big part of the journey, of this healing journey, is to do the self-discovery work. And we all know what it is to kind of be in a state of self-sabotage, self-sacrifice. And when we're finally sick and tired of that, it's time to start doing self-discovery. And it's not easy, right? It seems like it's an easy thing. We think that we know who we are, but we don't, because if you've been living most of your life in a state of needing acceptance, or even subconsciously fear of abandonment, or just having a desire to belong, which it's all human. There's nothing abnormal about us as humans having a desire to feel like we belong, that we're a part of a tribe, that we matter, and that we have a place where we are accepted and feel like we truly belong and are aligned. But how many times have those social connections been built up on self-abandonment, right? Where we don't know where else to go, or we're afraid of our truth, that we sacrifice, we compromise, right? That's a big word, compromise. When was the last time that you compromised your values, your beliefs, your boundaries, your standards to be accepted in a social group, or even just with one other person? Could be in a romantic relationship, that we compromise our values. And every time that we do that, what are we truly telling ourselves? What are we telling others? That they're more important than us, right? That our thoughts, our ideas, our dreams, our goals, our feelings, they don't matter as much, right, as what other people's do. And everything that I'm saying, it's coming from first person experience. You know, I had the mommy issues, the daddy issues, deadbeat dad, so he was never in the picture, right? Mommy issues, we both created a trauma bond from basically 0 years old. For me, my mom was, a late teenager when she had me, and yet we had a trauma bond. Codependency was a big part of my relationship with my mom. And then when she started another family at about the age of 10 to throughout the ages of 10 through 12, it was It was a challenging thing. Hey, welcome. Yeah, welcome, you guys. I'm just getting kind of the intro going. I love all the interactions. It's great to see that people are engaging on the app. And it's really my gift to you is the course content that's there, the self-discovery. It's what I'm talking about. It's really I know it's relatable, and that's the beautiful thing. It's in my own truth. I've had to trust that me being my true and authentic self, that me accepting that, man, I have mommy issues, I had daddy issues, I had self-sabotaging, self-sacrificing issues, abandonment issues. Does that mean that I'm worthless? Does it mean that, you know, I'm not as that I'm not special, I'm not valuable, that I'm not worthy of true and authentic love? None of that's true. We tell ourselves all these things. We fear the unknown. We fear not being accepted. And yet it's through that self-discovery that we can truly align ourselves with our inner truth. We can truly see ourselves with compassion and grace and understanding that even though you can't change what you have lived through and experienced, and also you can change how it's impacting your life. That's the key right there. Happy Sunday. Sundays are for healing. It's time to invest in ourselves. It's time to invest in yourself. Be honest, how many of y'all have spent a tremendous amount in terms of hours throughout this weekend just watching and consuming sports and entertainment, when it's like the greatest investment that we could be doing right now is in ourselves, learning about ourselves. And I always say these four things, right? What do you love? What do you hate? What do you want? And why? Why? And if you can just even get to that, it's powerful. If y'all have questions, feel free to, I can see all the comments right now on the live stream. So again, just welcome to all of you. I'm going to just kind of talk and we can interact. And I'm going to be doing a breathwork exercise like last week. It's a part of what I do through my coaching ceremonies, one-on-one. But I also think I have a really, really good visualization exercise for y'all today. So stick around. And that's awesome. Yeah, zero time. I haven't had a TV in years and years and years. I do have a TV at my ranch, but I only usually am streaming YouTube stuff, right? Positive affirmations, healing frequency stuff. And you know, when you really do start to realize that the spiritual journey, the spiritual awakening is the whole purpose of your existence on this planet. It is to break free from those distractions, from the spectacles, and to really align yourself with your truth. That being the best version of yourself isn't saying that you're better than anybody. It's looking at you, you versus you, me versus me, and just knowing that we need to give ourselves permission to grow, to heal, to expand, to become better, because I believe that it's our true purpose on this planet right now. Right? This planet is going through its own state of evolution. And I believe in the 3D to 5D. And I know that if each and every one of us was to focus on our own healing, our own growth, and then to be able to share that, right? To share that with others. I mean, just even if it's not intentional, just by you healing, by you truly loving yourself and cultivating that true and authentic light inside of you, everywhere you go, it's attractive. Everywhere you go, it reaches people, it inspires people, and it's such a beautiful thing. But a lot of us, there's a lot of people out there that this is not popular yet. This is not widespread, and I believe so much of that has to do, if you can just understand the the grief process, right? Denial is number 1 when you are grieving something, and, a lot of people they lack the self-confidence to be able to say, I've been living most of my adult life as a lie. I've been lying to myself, I've been lying to others. And it's just like, it's a fear of failure. It's a fear of not being accepted. And I think that the veils are coming off. I think that we really are collectively being called to heal our emotional state of being. And it really, that healing is, your emotional state of being is really bridging the distance between yourself, whoever you are identifying as right now, and that inner child, right? Your child like self. And so it's been a incredible journey for myself over 12 years, which for me it was hitting rock bottom, right? Just numbing and self-medicating all my emotional uncomfortability through alcohol primarily, then some THC, but I had to hit rock bottom, I mean, it was either hitting rock bottom and totally changing, or I'm somebody that if I hadn't learned that lesson, I would be dead or in prison because of how irresponsible I was as an alcoholic. Like, I don't have a gauge of saying, "Nah, I'm just gonna have a drink tonight." I mean, just a full blown. I'm an FMF doc too, man. That's awesome. Um, so yeah, I mean, I was just that full blown alcoholic. I started creating alcoholic tendencies probably at around 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I remember the first time I was in 7th grade, me and my buddy went to my grandpa's house for lunch. We snuck out. We left school, we ditched school, and we went to my grandpa's house, and he had a bar, an open bar there. My buddy was, like, pretty well-versed. So he's like, "Let's drink vodka." And so we got wasted and went back to school as 7th graders. And it was just constantly having that mindset of, it's one of those things, like, who goes to their first party, right, social gathering, and says, I'm gonna be an addict by the end. I'm gonna destroy my life because of substances that I was exposed to at my first party. No one has that mindset. We just think it's for fun, and then eventually it becomes codependency. And for me, it did get perpetuated. I see my brother here, hospital corpsman. Um, yeah, man, like, through high school, just getting wasted. We used to have some of the biggest keg parties on the planet. I can't even imagine. But then it was like the military life only got crazier, right? And just wasted. Um, that I mean, again, one DWI, flipping a Jeep, right? I had just come back from my first deployment overseas and bought a brand new Jeep Wrangler, came back to my hometown and drinking tequila, driving down the road, and literally a dead man's turn. And I was going about 60 miles per hour. No one's wearing seatbelt. No one got ejected. We should have all been dead, right? There was a hedge of protection clearly, but even that wasn't enough to wake me up. That literally 9 years to the day, I got my second DWI. And it's just like I always had to relate it I've always had to relate my connection with alcohol to like a relationship. I've always looked at addiction as relationship. And for me, breaking up with alcohol was the hardest relationship to end. It was the hardest for me. It does because it didn't matter how bad it left me, right? Whether it was like criminal charges and all this other shit that I still crawled back until I finally said, enough's enough, man. It just hurt. It hurt. When I finally hit my rock bottom, my last rock bottom, I said I was just so broken mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically that I tapped out. I said never again. It took that, right? And that was a really difficult process because I had the 2 DWIs and then I had a domestic violence arrest, with my previous partner, 21-year marriage, and that I couldn't be that version of me anymore. I said, "I can't do this. I'm better than this." I knew I was better than that. And it took me hitting rock bottom. It took me saying, "I'm done," right? Never again. And and then it took me asking for help. And I'm grateful that the VA is what got me through there. Right. And so, yeah, that was a big part of my process to get to this point, right? Fast forward, I hit 12 years of sobriety back in July 22nd. And yeah, it's been a heck of a ride. I mean, I've tried every type of therapy that's come my way because, I've done the spirituality thing. I've tried it all. Like I really didn't know what was going to work, what was going to really give me success. And it was interesting. It's been an interesting ride. And I know I trigger a lot of people because, I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. And I know that I still open myself up to really doing things that a lot of people that are so religiously minded, they're just triggered by it. And I've always said, there's a lot of people that use God as a crutch, right? You throw God out there and somehow that makes your life better. And I was that guy. And it didn't make my life better. I was still miserable under the surface. Thus, the mantra results kill excuses. I needed the results. Nothing was going to stop me. Nothing was going to stop me from finding the results. And thus, I had to literally set aside everything, all my beliefs. I had to let go of everything I had ever been taught, everything I had ever believed. I just released it and said, God, show me. Show me what I need to know. I need results. I need to trust myself. That was really the biggest thing, is I didn't trust myself. Maybe you feel that way right now. Like truly trusting yourself in all situations. Cause I'm someone that, especially in intimate relationships, I if I ever felt the sense of abandonment happening or feeling rejected, I would yeah, I would usually get pretty confrontational. And it would be fear, right? It'd be fear. I would be afraid. Afraid of being alone, afraid of being unloved, feeling unlovable. And I know a lot of people can relate to that, feeling like I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life and thus holding on to relationships that are probably misaligned. And I've one of the things that I've had to learn post a 21-year marriage expiring back in 2019. It's been 5 years that I've been divorced. And it wasn't a knockout, drag out type divorce. It was very peaceful. But and I've had a few long-term relationships in that 5 years. But it's given me the opportunity to learn how to love myself. Do you love yourself? Do you truly love yourself? How do you feel about yourself? That's the question I have for you today. Is how do you feel about yourself when you're by yourself? It's easy for us to get caught up when we're like in a social gathering or, up in the crowd and stuff. We put on the mask and we act like, "Oh man, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? I'm good too." Cuz you're just that's the energy you want to cultivate, right? Everybody everything's good. We all good. But it's how do you really feel behind the closed door when you're all by yourself? Those dark nights of the soul, how do you really feel about yourself? Right? Can you handle yourself? Can you truly love that version of you? Can you know that version of you that's scared, that's afraid, that's guilty, that's feeling ashamed, that's feeling unlovable, embarrassed, overwhelmed, angry, frustrated, hurt, that version of you is the most authentic version of you, and it takes you being able to show up for that version. And so I break it down like this because throughout my therapy, this was the breakthrough. Here's the breakthrough. You guys want the game? Here's the game. This is really what I want to encourage you guys to start working on. So for me, I grew up way too fast, right? 10, 12 years old, mom starts a new family. I had codependency with her, trauma bond, and I write that I've been abandoned now, right? I'm all on my own. So I had to start making adult decisions at, let's just call it 12. So there's three parts of who we are. Right? And if you have internal conflict, you need to realize that the internal conflict, it's not the devil, it's not all this other shit. It's literally that you are not aligned with who you are. And there's three aspects to who we are. You have an inner child, you have an adult, and you have a parent. Inner child, adult, parent. Here's how this breaks down. For me, connect this to you. My inner child was really wounded. Again, because of all the 0 to 10 years old, there's some shit that most of us experience that I literally had a therapist one time at the VA look at me and say, "Dude, like, I used to tell everyone, man, I have a real bad memory." And it was it this therapist told me, "Dude, it's not that you have a bad memory. You've just been through so much trauma that you programmed yourself subconsciously to stop retaining memories." And so it's through this healing journey that you really need to be able to be honest with yourself, but you have to be prepared to accept some truths about yourself that you may have hidden from yourself. There may be some things that you've experienced that you think that you've buried them, that you've let it go, that you're 40 years down the road or 30 years down the road from when you were 5 or 10 years old, that somehow all that time let has healed it or released it from your life, and that's not true. That's a big lie that you're telling yourself. And so a lot of us are scared to be by ourselves because when you have to sit there with yourself and really do some self-discovery work, there's some things that you're going to have come back up, resurface from the depths of who you are, the deepest, darkest parts of your soul. And that's scary. That's frightening. And it leaves us feeling ashamed, guilty, unlovable, embarrassed, angry. And so I do highly encourage professional help. I do highly encourage, pulling in someone like me that's kind of been through this process, that understands it and has had success. Because here's when I first felt whole and complete, back to the child, the adult, and the parent. So the child inside of me, very afraid, right? And for a lot of men in particular, that's a hard thing to accept, right? That's a hard thing to be able to be honest with ourselves about, is to say, I'm afraid, right? We don't want to act like that. And so a lot of times, so the dynamic that I always had throughout my life is that my inner child, not knowing this, again, if you don't understand that this is what's happening inside of you, right, then you're living life all conflicted and you're wanting to put all the blame on things on the outside that you have no control over. But subconsciously, here's what's going on in my life, right? Like I'm in a relationship. I'm grown now. I'm in a relationship, and I'm trying to project, and get a woman to become my mom, right? In a way that it's like, I lost my mom, and so I'm searching for her in a woman, that loving, that nurturing, right? Because the story I wrote as a child from 0 to 10 years old is that the world's not safe without my mommy, because all the shit that I had been through, all the violence, all the abuse, which was absolutely like life threatening to the highest degree. I mean, we're talking kidnappings, like all kinds of crazy shit. That the world is not a safe place. And the only thing that anchored me to feeling safe was when my mommy would hold me and tell me, it's going to be okay. I love you so much. It's going to be okay. But when she decided to go have another family and put her focus elsewhere because she started having other kids, right? I wrote a story of abandonment. So subconsciously, I'm looking for a woman to fulfill the role of mom because I have mommy issues. But I want to realize that. And hopefully this is making sense. So throughout my life, anytime the inner child was feeling a sense of a re-triggering, that a woman that said she loved me was now not loving me and willing to abandon me, he would get scared. And the adult version of me would want to protect the child. And unfortunately, the adult wanting to protect the child would do it in a way that was probably over the top. It was over the top. And it's because the adult version of me was very immature, underdeveloped. And it has to do with the fact that I had to start making adult type decisions by about the age of 12. Because at the age of 12 is when my mom had started another family. I wrote this story of abandonment. And then I started to connect with other friends that were in similar situations, and we sort of collectively created our own type of family dynamic, making decisions, a lot of bad decisions that led to a lot of trouble and a lot of addiction issues and a lot of substance abuse. And yet I saw this clear as day when the veil finally got lifted. I was like, holy shit. I started getting this therapy where my therapist started doing crosstalk. And I was like, oh shit, okay, it makes sense now. My inner child is totally does not feel safe in this world. So the adult needs to be a badass motherfucker, ready to save and protect this kid at all costs. And yet, usually, it meant an overreaction, knee jerk reactions that would usually leave situations worse. So that when the child felt scared or threatened, the adult would come in, kick in the door, and like destroy everything, which would ultimately leave people, usually intimate partners, feeling unsafe, emotionally insecure, saying that you're not a safe man when this version comes out. When it's the little boy, loving and kind and romantic and thoughtful, it's beautiful. But then when something happens, this trauma response kicks in, the adult comes in and totally pushes everyone away, which would definitely leave me feeling what? Abandoned. It would leave me feeling alone. Now here's the piece that I've totally left out. The parent. The parent was never developed in my psyche because I didn't really feel like I ever had a valid parent. Even my mom, she had me at such an early age, like teenage pregnancy. Most people thought she was my sister. And so I never really had a secure parental type personality in my life to model after. So again, I had the wounded child and this overbearing adult, right? And this apparent type mentor was never developed until now. And that's who you're hearing right now is the parent. Is I now have the parent that's gone in to the deepest, darkest part of my soul. Super dad showed up and saw little Gregory there alone, the little boy, and was able to comfort, to soothe, and to now like create this dialogue to let him know that it's safe. It's okay. I'm never going to abandon you. We're never going to reject you. We're all in this together. So I now have this triad, right? The child feels safe and secure, feels seen and heard, feels loved, feels appreciated, feels that we can be playful. We can go do playful things, right? The adult feels like he has a mentor, a parent above him to be able to say, hey, you know what? It's okay to feel a little scared or uneasy in this situation, but let's not overdo it. Let's use words versus actions. Let's not react. Let's respond. That's huge right there. If you can learn how to respond with words versus react with anger and emotions, your life's going to improve major, 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 major. And so that's where I find myself. And I'm grateful to be able to share this with you. And if you're looking for opportunities to grow and to improve and to really invest in yourself, right here, man, it's not just talk at the Results Kill Excuses channel, right? The app has 25 lessons for self-discovery. I'm holding the workbook right here. If you're watching this right now and you send me an email to results kill excuses at gmail.com, send me an email saying you're all in. You download the app, send me your address. I will send you a workbook for free. These are beautiful workbooks. I actually print them and bind them myself. But there are 5 courses here that are specifically designed to help you improve the relationship that you have with yourself. This long-winded explanation of the child and the parent and the adult, it is the self-discovery work. When you can bridge and connect those 3, that is the most powerful. You will become unstoppable because you're no longer against yourself. And you also become magnetic. And so many of us, we're trying to seek that external validation when it's like, I validate myself now. I love myself so much. And I can now, as I always say this, if you want to improve the relationship you have with others, improve the relationship you have with yourself. And as you do that, you validate yourself, you take care of yourself. And then that means that when you show up for other people, you're showing up as your true and authentic self. You're showing them love out of abundance, out of your abundance. It's an overflow, and that's magnetic. People are so starved for authenticity nowadays because there's everyone's faking something. Everyone's walking around with a mask and it's like we're so afraid to truly be ourselves. And I think that's what's really so beautiful about what I'm experiencing with the channel right now is that I am just so grateful for how many men specifically are really opening up and being vulnerable, feeling safe enough to like share your experiences here and not be shamed for it. Right. I'm a huge advocate for mental and emotional health, but I also identify as a pretty strong, stable, masculine type guy, alpha type male, stoic type, sigma male. And yet I know there's a lot of guys out there that are like, oh man, fucking hustle, grind, just, slam the weights, get the money, fuck the feelings, it's like, and it's just like, I really believe that mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. That's the total. That's the total package right there. The financial health comes after that, but those 4 right there aligned make you unstoppable. And the truth is I know plenty of guys that are out there that are ripped, but they're emotionally broken. They're still unstable mentally and emotionally. I know plenty of people that are abundantly successful and their health looks like shit. I know plenty of people that are spiritually awakened and the same thing. They're insecure. They have like little self-confidence because they put everything on, something outside of themselves. And so I truly do believe that the truest empowerment is mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. And it all starts with on the inside, right? The people that say, well, I don't believe in depression. I don't believe in anxiety. I don't know about any of that. What I know is that I needed to be honest with myself, truly accept myself for the things that I have survived through, and know that I had the power to be able to heal myself, to be able to save myself, to love myself, to nurture myself, and to truly heal myself from the inside. And I continue to do that today. And I do want to get into a breathwork exercise with you guys as we're kind of coming up on 40 minutes. I love connecting. I love doing the lives and just seeing the amount of interaction today. It's great. And so I do want to share with you guys a breathwork exercise and a visualization. One of the things that I've been working on in my own life is to close the distance from what I am visualizing for my greatest self, my best self, my dreams and my goals, to close the distance of how far off that is. And so it's living from the end. It's saying that whatever you can envision, whatever you can imagine for yourself, it's getting to a place where it is right now. It's not a year from now, it's not a month from now, or even farther, but everything that you can imagine, it's imagining as if it is now. What does that take? And so that's the visualization that I'm gonna walk you through today. And so that distance it's so important, and yet you can't it's not beneficial for you to try and logically make sense of what you imagine and how it's gonna become a reality in the 3D, right? You have to trust that nothing exists. Nothing. There is nothing. Name one thing that just happened without first being imagined in the mind of a human. Greatness, success, technology, innovations, buildings, roads. I mean, you name it. Every single thing originates from our imagination. And what you are imagining is different than what I'm imagining. And it also takes understanding that for you to bring about your dream, it doesn't mean that I lose mine. For you to win doesn't mean I have to lose. We're not competing. We truly do need to believe that this is a universe that is infinite. There is no limits to it. You are only limited by your beliefs and what you can imagine and what you're willing to do. Because it's not even up to you to have to try and figure out all the steps to say, whoa, I have this vision, and how am I going to bring it? How am I going to make it happen? Don't worry about that right now. Don't worry about that. Here's an exercise. What is the most amount of money that you can imagine yourself making in 1 year? What is the most amount of money that you can imagine yourself making in 1 year? What is the number that comes up in your mind? And you could either comment it down below or just think it to yourself, right? What is the most amount of money that you can ever imagine making in 1 year? Once you have that number, right? Once you have the number, you need to tell yourself it's not about being realistic. It's about the number that you say in your mind is what you think you're worth. And there's no difference between if you told yourself $50,000 or $50,000,000. There's a there's a really good book. It's called The Instant Millionaire. And it's really a reflection about self-worth. And again, you could have put any number out there. You could have said a totally the biggest number you could imagine, gazillion dollars. Logically, it's not going to ever make sense But we're not working through logic. We're working through the spiritual reality that we actually live in. You are a spiritual life force having a human experience. And yet, if you only said 50,000, well, that's a reflection of your self worth. If you said 50 million, it's not for you to logically say, oh, well, what do I have to do to get 50 million? No, you just throw 50 million out there. And then here's what's so beautiful about this is if you can get yourself aligned with the spirit, spend more time centering on yourself, connecting with the divine, you will start to get ideas that you've never had before, or ideas will resurface themselves. Now, whether you want to act on those ideas or not, that's up to you. Whether you want to logically say, well, I don't know about that. I don't have that skill and I don't know if I can learn this and that. And like the more you want to sit around and kind of chase your tail about trying to logically understand how to bring about $50 million when the most you've ever made is 60,000, right? That's not how it works. And so the same thing is true as like the secret sauce to it is the feeling. So if in your mind you say 15 million, $50 million, like what would that feel like for you? What would it feel like? What would it feel like to make that amount of money? And you don't have to think about it, right? You don't have to think about where does it come from? How do I get it? It's none of that matters at this point. If you're not there yet, it doesn't matter. What matters is that one, you see it, you believe it, and you can feel it. With that being said, let's do some breath work. For those of you that are here, those of you that are watching this, we're going to do a breath work exercise visualization. So it's probably like the next 10 minutes. If you'd like to join in, join in. If you want to hop off. But I definitely welcome you to join in. I think this is probably the most powerful part of this entire live stream. And so I do thank you guys for all being here, for all the comments and connections. And yeah, I'm seeing all this stuff. I mean, and again, it's just, and you can change. What's cool is if you said 500,000, you can now say, oh, wait, the number doesn't matter. You can say any number. It's a reflection of what you're worth. You get to say any number. You don't need to logically make sense of it. If you want to say 500 million, say it. And then start to feel that. Feel it. Feel it. You have to feel what 500 million would feel like. And then what's wild is that you will start to get some new ideas, right? If you disconnect from all these distractions, from everything that's like sort of like taking you away from being centered on yourself. And that's really the power. That's the self-discovery. So you go from self-sabotage, self-sacrifice, self-discovery, self-development to self-mastery. And that process in and of itself is so consuming, but it's so rewarding that it's like everything else. I used to be the biggest fanatic and going to all the games and watching wall-to-wall sports and sports radio and sports talk and sports this and sports that. And it's like, I don't care about none of that. I ain't got time for it. I would much rather continue working on myself, continue becoming the best version of myself, making sure that my mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health is at the peak that it's capable of being. And then ultimately, I'm at a place now where I'm giving back out of the abundance. right? And all I want to do is inspire others to do the exact same thing, to go all in on themselves, to see how far you can go. It's the most encouraging thing when it's like you are so rooted in who you are that you all you want to do is see everyone else around you kind of doing the same thing, just working on themselves and believing in themselves, and trying to bring forth their their truest, deepest desires of their hearts. Like, I lied to myself for so many years about what I truly desired, about what I truly had envisioned for my life. I lied to myself. I told myself, "Oh, like that's not realistic. That's not possible. You're not one of them. You're not this. You're not that." Right? All that. And then it's like once I disconnected and I went into this season of singularity, I went back into my heart and said, "What do I desire? What do I really want? What is the vision I've always had?" And it's like I wrote these things down, and then it's like I believe it. I believe it, and I don't care if you believe it or not, or anybody else in my life. They may not believe it. They don't need to believe it. You need to believe it. You need to believe it. But you need to like disconnect, and you can give yourself permission to edit and revise and change. See, that's where so many of us get locked in. We think that like there's no way I could do this or that, and it's like with that mindset, you're right. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. So which is it? Growth mindset or fixed mindset? What are you projecting on yourself? Are you keeping yourself held back, or do you want to set yourself free? Let's start to focus in on our breath. I'm gonna switch gears here real quick. Again, probably about 10 minutes for this breath work visualization exercise, but I definitely think it's gonna be some powerful, powerful, powerful stuff right now. So if you guys can stick around, please join me. Maybe I'll even turn down the light just a little bit, set the mood. So let's just in through our nose, out through our mouth, start connecting with our breath. And we'll go through a series of breathing where it's just in through our nose and out through our mouth. Get all the breath out. Just totally like push the breath out, all out, so that when you get to the bottom of that breath pushed out, instantly you have to go back in through your nose. In through your nose. And now hold for 3. 3, 2, 1. Out. Let it all out. More, 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 more. And you're going to go back in through your nose and hold. 3, 2, 1. And as you're letting your breath out, even be audible. Start to allow for some release, some relaxation to happen, as if, you know, you've been carrying around a burden or some stress. And it's like when you exhale, be audible with yourself. And you can't even over exaggerate. I'm going to demonstrate this one where it's like, and you just want to just release the burdens, release the stress, release everything that's sort of keeping you pent up. And so we're just going to continue focusing in our breath in through our nose. As you breathe in, you're going to be breathing in that life force energy into your body. through your throat, into your lungs. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Release. And let's breathe back in through our nose. Breathe in that life force energy. Breathe it in more. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're going to release. Let it out. Let it all out. Release all the stress, all the anxiety, all the worry, all the stress. Just let it all out. Out. Completely out until you have to forcefully go back in through your nose. We'll do this for 3 more times. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. More. Release. Release all that stress. You can be audible. Release the stress. Let your shoulders relax. And back in through your nose. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Release. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. One more time. In through your nose. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go. And I want you to just sort of move your shoulders around. Maybe close your eyes. You can maybe stretch your neck. Just sort of, if you're sitting down, just sort of like move your upper body and just move your head back and forth and just connect with your natural breathing in through your nose, through your mouth. I just want you to feel a sense of peace, a sense of calm. I want you to give yourself permission to put your thinking mind to rest. Just connect with your breath. Connect with that life force energy going in through your nose, down through your throat, into your lungs. Feeling that cool air exit through your mouth. Just connect with your natural breathing and I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel secure. I want you to feel loved. Regardless of what the temperature is around you, I want you to start to feel a sense of warmth. Almost imagine as if you'd just taken out a fuzzy blanket out of the dryer and you can just feel it radiating that warmth. It feels so warm that warmth is now extending into your body. I want you to picture yourself in a room where you feel comfortable, cozy. Maybe there's a fire crackling in front of you and you're sitting on a comfortable chair that your whole body just feels so relaxed, so restful. Maybe it's snowing outside. Maybe it's sunny. Regardless of what's happening on the outside, I want you to feel warm and cozy and comfortable sitting on this chair. the warm, fuzzy blanket. And you're still just connecting with your breath. And as you're connecting with your breath, I want you to start to imagine the highest version of yourself. I want you to imagine the most successful version of yourself. I want you to picture that. What is that version of you doing? How does that version of you feel? What type of body does that version of you have? What kind of clothes do you wear? What's your hairstyle? What kind of confidence does this version of you have as you picture yourself going about life, going about your community, moving about your home? How do you carry yourself? How do you feel about yourself seeing this version of yourself? And as you picture yourself, you start to connect with that version of yourself. I want you to create a sense of how far off do you imagine that this version of you is? Is this possibility 10 years in the future? Is this version of you 5 years? What is your perception of reality in terms of this version that you see, this greatest version of yourself? How far off do you imagine that? And as you perceive time and you start to imagine through your reality and through the lens of the now, as you sit in this room where you feel comfortable, where you feel cozy and warm and safe, and as you're imagining this highest version of yourself, this future version, I want you to picture a door in front of you. As you're sitting down, I want you to imagine a door. And on the other side of this door is this highest version of yourself. And as you start to imagine that on the other side of the door is the highest version of yourself, I want you to release your sense of time and space. I want you to release your perception of what is possible versus what is impossible, what you are capable of doing versus what you are incapable of doing. I want you to know that and to believe that this highest version of yourself is on the other side of this door. You see it, you feel it, you see yourself. And as you're sitting there imagining, I want you to hear a knock on the door. And that your higher version of self is knocking on the door. As you hear that knock, I want you to stand up and I want you to begin walking to the door. Picture the door. What type of door do you see? Picture the handle, the color, the size. And as you're walking closer and closer and closer to the door, I want you to take in a deep breath as you approach the door. And I want you to Release the breath. And reach out your right hand to the handle. I want you to feel that handle. I want you to feel that connection, as if the minute you touch the handle, you feel energized. You feel the potential that's on the other side of that door. You know what is right on the other side of the door. And as you begin to turn the handle and you open the door, you feel the light, you feel the warmth, and the door opens, and you are now face to face with this higher version of yourself. And you smile. You can embrace yourself, can give yourself a hug. And I want you to receive the message that this higher version of yourself has for you. As you look yourself in the eyes and you have this smile and this excitement because you feel and you see the possibility of who you are, and that you have now bridged the gap of time and space as you stand before your highest self. And I want you to just take a moment to receive the message that your higher self has for you right here, right now. And as you receive this message, I want you to thank yourself for sharing with you such an encouraging vision, an uplifting message. And I want you to respond to that message from who you are right now. As you finish sharing your response, I want you to take a step through the door to the other side, to this higher timeline, this dream life. And as you step into this dream life of yours, I want you to visualize and see and experience all that's there for you. And how all that you see is your reality. Everything that you're experiencing, everything that you're feeling is all meant for you. It's for you. It's within you. As you look around, I want you to imagine the home that you live in. I want you to imagine the place that the home is, the car you drive. I want you to reach in your pocket and grab your phone and take a minute to look at your bank account. And as you're logging into your bank account, I want you to imagine how much money you have accumulated into your bank account. And as you see that number, I want you to smile, being filled with gratitude and appreciation and thanksgiving, knowing that you didn't have to work hard for the money, that the amount of money that you see wasn't about this hard grinding work. It was about aligning yourself with this highest version of self, the truest version of yourself. That aligning yourself with that is what made you valuable, is what allowed for you to attract the wealth and the abundance that you see, the home that you live in, the car that you drive, the people that you have in your life now. And you just take a moment to take it all in and to truly feel, it, not only for the first time in your life, but to really feel accomplished, to feel proud of yourself, to feel good from the inside. As if the material is second to just how you feel in this moment. You are fulfilled. You are happy. You are joyful. You are loving. You are so filled with love and light, kindness and generosity, abundance. And you just carry that feeling. And the more that you feel that feeling from within, the more that the reality expands, that your winning streak is endless, that you are unstoppable. I want you to turn to your higher self and thank them for inviting you to align with your potential. Knowing that you now have the vision, you now know your desires and dreams and what is truly possible, what you can accomplish right here, right now. And as you turn around and you cross back into the room that you felt so comfortable and cozy and warm in, you realize that it is within that dream home. That you are living the dream life right here, right now. And you walk back to the chair, feeling content, satisfied, fulfilled, and truly optimistic as to what is. There's no need to strain. There's no need to stress. All your needs are met. Everything is perfectly as it is. All you have to do is continue believing that you are worthy of all that you see, all that is. And I just want you to put your hands over your heart space and to just thank yourself for being here today, to truly allowing yourself to visualize your potential, visualize what it is that you are truly called to be on this planet for a time such as this. And I just want you to thank yourself for being here. As I count down from 5 to 1, you can just start to reconnect with your space and yourself. You can move your body, maybe reconnect with your breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and open up your eyes. Smile. Maybe you need to stretch out and just start to regain your physical presence, knowing that all that you received, all that you heard, all that you experienced throughout that visualization, it is not something that is to be, it is what is. It is within you. And it takes you releasing the false self, releasing everything that you're carrying from your past, all those past experiences, all those past hurts, all of the past limiting beliefs, the betrayals, the letdowns, the mistakes, the failures, that you could just release those and that you can truly be here right now. There's no going back. You can never go back. That's the beautiful thing. The integration, you all just experienced an integration of your higher self. You just brought your future into the present. There is no past, there is no future, there's only now. And what you experienced is right here and right now. Continue cultivating, continue experiencing and believing that whatever it is that you envisioned, the home, the cars, the job, the bank, it's not about is it right now, it's the feeling. Continue to feel that. The deep breaths, and to give yourself permission to accept that you are worthy. It's the worthiness is the biggest piece of all this, is to truly believe with all your heart that you are worthy, to release any doubts, any fears, to release those and to believe with all your heart, to feel it in your body, to feel that right now you are the best version of yourself. You are the best. I'm so grateful that you all joined me for that experience. I really do enjoy getting on here on the lives. That's a small snippet of the one-on-one coaching ceremonies that I do. And so if any of you are interested in connecting with me privately, I do offer a free 90-minute strategy session to help you really start to look at what are the low-hanging fruits, what are the short-term goals, and what are some of the ways that you can start to bring forth this life that you desire. And resultskillexcuses@gmail.com. It's the best way to get a hold of me for that. If you haven't already, download the app. This is the workbook. The way that the app works is there's 5 courses. Each course has 5 lessons, and usually each lesson you wanna take a day or more to really work through. It's not easy work, but there's worksheets for every single lesson, which is sort of my unique way. It's something different than I've seen out there. A lot of, self-discovery work is a lot of scripting, a lot of journaling, which is important, but I've had a lot of people come to me saying, "How do I get started? How do I do the journaling?" And let's be honest, most of us don't like to write. We didn't like it as kids, we don't like it as adults. So, I've turned the journaling, scripting process into, like, the old school worksheets when we were kids. You had, like, the little vocabulary worksheets. So you kind of go through it. You need to have a printer. If you don't have a printer, then you could order the workbook or send me an email, I'll send you one. I've sent out a lot of these for free because I give a shit. I wanna help you guys. I wanna help you to get some traction, and maybe by helping you, you help me. I'd love to get a testimony on some breakthroughs. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's great to hear that. Hurting people hurt themselves first, right? I appreciate that. And so, yeah, you just print out the worksheet, you watch a video or listen to the video. There's even a step by step of all the worksheets of me filling it out. So if you're kind of like looking at it, the one thing I'll preface is that it's not standalone. So you couldn't just get the workbook and then just figure it out. You do need to watch the videos because it sets the context and the strategy for really how to engage in it. So that's a really important thing for me right now is to get as many people working on these courses as possible. I do believe that right now is the perfect time for you to really start investing in doing some self-discovery work. Some of the stuff that I have coming up that I'm working on right now is some challenges. There's a 24-hour cold turkey challenge that I'm gonna be putting out there, a 72-hour, and then a 7-day challenge. And so these are for if you really just need to get that hard stop, right? You just need to break your habits. That vicious cycle is 24 hours is like the cold turkey, like set an intention saying that you're going to give something up for 24 hours, focus on you. And then I'm kind of guiding you through visualizations, meditation. There's some worksheets involved there. And that's a 24-hour challenge for you to just invest in you. Like, set aside the distractions. Give yourself 24 hours to just work on you. The 72-hour is sort of like the reverse weekend bender, right? Where it's like you're going to take a whole weekend to say, okay, I'm cutting out the old habits and I'm going to invest in this. And so those two challenges are coming up. They should be out really soon on the app. The other section that I'm building out on the app is the merchandise. So I have the inspirational gear, right? Got the hoodies, got the shirts, stickers, hats, beanies. There's some fun stuff on there. So I'd really appreciate if any of you are interested. You could go to resultskillexcuses.com and check out the full shop there. I'm working on building out the shop section on the app, but I do appreciate any support with the merchandise. I think that there's some pretty powerful energy on this Results Kill Excuses brand, and I have a vision for it to be the number one personal development brand on this planet, right? Truly inspiring people to be their best selves, going from self-destructive to self-discovery to self-mastery, right? Let's make the world a better place. It starts with you. It ends with you, and I believe in you. And I'm grateful for all of you that tuned in today to this live feed. I may or may not add another one to throughout the week, just maybe like a midweek check-in. Maybe it's Wednesdays, but I know a lot of you are getting a lot out of it. Plus the videos that I'm putting out every single day, whether it's the short or the long versions. So I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in, for connecting, giving my message, my truth, your attention. And I know that I'm attracting in people that are truly ready. I know my time is now. That means your time is now. Let's do this together. I had to do a lot of this work by myself. I still think that some of the biggest breakthroughs that you're going to experience is going to be when you're in the quietness of your day, whether it's first thing early, dark in the morning or in the evening. Give yourself that time. Give yourself. What is a frequency music that you suggest? I don't remember. Definitely 528 is the best frequency. It's uncomfortable. That's a great question. Yeah, the 528s. If any of you guys want some real specific positive affirmation videos, reach out to me privately. resultskillexcuses@gmail. Maybe just give me a little information about what you're going through, what your current situation is, and I can guarantee you I will send you not just some generic positive affirmation. I will give you some stuff that is super specific for your situation. And I guarantee you, if you continue to listen to it, um, you're going to start to elevate. You're going to start to expand yourself. And the 528 is not easy to listen to. I mean, you start playing it and it's just like, it can be uncomfortable. It's weird how it is because it's elevating, it's healing. We don't realize the power of frequency. Everything is frequency right now. I don't know if any of you are having the ringing of the ears right now, but it's like almost constant ringing in the ears right now. There's so much energetic things happening. There's a lot of powerful stuff coming even this week. We just had the full moon. We just had the 11/11 portal on the 19th. We're moving into the Aquarius for the next 16 years. I mean, just be ready. Just get ready. Like if you're hearing this message and you're aligning with this, like just keep leaning in. Don't back off. Go all in. Go all in. Go all in on this. The greatest investment that you can make right now. It's not crypto, it's not real estate, it's not stocks, it's not like doubling down on your work. The greatest investment you can make right now is in you, in your spiritual evolution, aligning yourself, releasing all the false self, releasing your false identity, and aligning yourself with your divine birthright. Right? This is a spiritual journey. You're a spiritual being, right? Everything you want is right here, right now. Picture yourself. You are the best. You are the best version of you right now. Wealth is health. But I say total health is this: total health, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical health. Alignment. You have to get into alignment with that. Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. It's all four. And so with that, I think we'll conclude this session. Again, thank you so much for all your guys' participation, sticking around for the past hour and a half. It goes by so quick for me. So I continue to just appreciate your participation. I welcome you into the Results Kill Excuses family, the nation, this tribe. We're going to change this world for the better because we're healing ourselves from the inside out. And I love you guys. I thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you have an incredible rest of your day. Go connect with nature. Go get outside. Go do some breath work. Kick off your shoes. Kick off your socks. Go stand and do some sunbathing. Do some breath work. Listen to some affirmations. Listen to some meditation. Write down some of your desires, some of your dreams. Even release some of your fears, some of your doubts, some of your guilt, some of your shame. Heal some relationships. Be the light in this world. Be the love. We all need some love. I share love with you guys. This is all from a place of love. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you on the next one. Maybe it's this Wednesday, but for sure next Sunday, 10 a.m. I am 1,000% committed to this. And so I'll see you on the next one, you guys. Until then, just keep being your best. Just be your best self. Put in the work. You know it'll come back to you. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.